morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chamber of the Wraith. My name is Brian, and today we are tackling the first Dinosaur Digs campaign in Zoo Tycoon. At least I think we're doing that. I can't remember if we were going to do all the easy stuff first and then move on to intermediate, or if we're going to do all of the campaigns of a certain type of, expansion. So, it's going to be fun and interesting to try and pull off because today's another day where the loading process has apparently decided to take a snail's pace. So, hopefully once this loads, we're going to be able to take a look, because the sooner I figure out what the heck is going on with the campaign, the better, because I can't remember what the plan was. So I'm slightly clueless, and I apologize if I sound a little bit odd. I have an itch on the inside of my ear, so trying to deal with that, and it's not going well. Alright, I think I got it, finally. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so, also, I mess around with my own freeform game, and I might try and do something like that in the future. Let's see. Yeah, we have not revitalized Burkittsville Zoo. Okay, so we're going to just focus on beginners, so that'll be easy. Next up, then, is Dinosaur Digs Ice Age Animal Zoo. Millennia ago, a permafrost that covered the world decimated many forms of life on Earth. Because of your past successes in managing zoos, you have been given a large plot of land in Greenland. Recent advances in the field of genetics have enabled your research scientists to begin cloning extinct animals. Before attempting to clone such dangerous, large creatures as the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Allosaurus, your research scientists urge you to play it safe and build your first zoo with just extinct animals from the Ice Age, who were presumably less dangerous. You'll need to exhibit four Ice Age animals: the woolly mammoth, Mammothus primigenius, woolly rhinoceros, Coelodonta antiquitatis, there we go, that was hard to say, Smilodon, or the saber-toothed cat, Smilodon fatalis, and the giant tortoise, Meolania platyceps. It is very important to spend money on the genetic research conservation category in order to gain the ability to adopt woolly mammoths. Adopt one of each of the main Ice Age creatures. Earn and exhibit suitability of 84, an average animal happiness rating of 85, and a zoo rating of 70. Interestingly, I don't see a time limit. So, without further ado, let's get started, I guess. Oh boy. So, since we're focusing on Dinosaur Digs and Dinosaur Digs alone, cease your whining, creature. Let's focus on this sort of thing. First, $13. So what do we have? We can presumably also, we can also use every single Zoo Tycoon animal. Nice. Except for the ones that require research, I presume. But still, we can even go above and beyond thanks to the DLC expansions giving us Macrokenia and the giant ground sloth. Now, for those who are younger in the audience, you may be surprised to notice that I mentioned it as DLC specifically. Maybe not, but allow me to elaborate. In Zoo Tycoon, in the time of Zoo Tycoon, extra content was not given to you necessarily in downloadable content. You didn't have to connect to an online client in order to get the extra content. How did you get it then? Expansion packs. You literally went out and physically bought a disc that required the base game to play, but gave you a whole lot of content. Let's do Smilodon first. Smilodon. I can't think of an S word for home or house. Let's just do Smilodon show. Get rid of that. What was I saying? Right, so the reason why I mentioned the expansion pass debacle is because a lot of people, you may have wondered why they called DLC a ripoff. Well, that's because, generally speaking, when people added content back in the day, they actually basically tried to. In fact, their whole thing was that they had to try and get you to buy physical content, which means having to look into and find ways to make said content worth it. So how they did that was quite simple, actually. They basically just went ahead and unleashed a whole lot of content, enough content for it to be its own game, at least in most instances, and they just kind of went, here you go. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, compared to 17, compared to 22. I need 20 squares of snow. So 20 squares of snow, 20 squares of... So how many bits did I do? 25, 50, 75, 150. Okay, so I need 10 more. So 1, 2 to replace that extra snow, and then 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. And what was I saying? So, at least in most cases, when games required the extra DLC, they wanted to do the extra content, they would actually bother to give you extra content to work with. So, Arctic bush. Okay. So as a result, a lot of the times, expansion packs would give you more content than even the most expansive of DLCs. Like, the 2 expansion packs that came out for Zoo Tycoon completely changed the game, because not only did you get dinosaurs and new expansions and whatnot, you also would then eventually get the ability to produce marine animals and tanks and make hybrid exhibits with... I mean, the original Zoo Tycoon, I think, had 30 different creatures, and then they added like another 20 for dinosaur digs. It's like an increase in content by like 70-ish%, I want to say. So it was sizable, which meant when people harken back to the old days of DLC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I need 32, right? When they harken back to those old days, that is what they're talking about. They're talking about, wow, we got a whole we literally got a whole mess of content for free. 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. One more then. Which is part of the result that came to be why expansion packs were seen as at least a little bit worth it, in terms of just direct content amounts. Because when you think about how much content is inside of an expansion pack, it's quite a bit, especially when you compare it to things like, oh, I don't have that, I'm gonna have to do an Ice Age cave. And then adopt the 2 Smilodon. Here we go. 3. Hire Sam. The whole idea behind the expansion pass is really, really cool. And I think it would be nice to see if instead of just downloadable content, because downloadable content generally is just a super vague term. I mean, downloadable content, what could that possibly... how little do you think that could be in order to... How little do you think it matters, really, that... how little do you think it matters for them to put in content and still consider it downloadable, right? Literally just skins are all you really need in order to get the aforementioned downloadable content. So as a result of that, it's really hard to it's really hard to just say, oh, well, the downloadable content is always worth it because it's always more content. You have to kind of stop and pause and think, well, yeah, but at the same time, again, one skin for $1.49 or more in the modern day with microtransactions playing the loophole game very well. Expansion packs might be seen as a thing of the past these days, but really, I think one could argue that that style of expansion pack should come back. And some games kind of do that. Mortal Kombat 11 is known for the Mortal Kombat series, and the Injustice series are kind of known for this sort of thing because, well, you know, their whole shtick is that you can expand it with these combat packs, which on their own, when you think about, the amount of content that you get, you have to think about how much content you actually get. And what do you get for that content? You get, at least in the first combat pack, you get 6 separate characters and all of their gear, some skins and gear, and various other things that would be worth an expansion for how much was it back then? How much was it? It was like $25 or something like that. It was a lot. It was a relatively high amount, and you got a relatively decent amount of content when you compare it to some of the other expansions and DLC offerings, like literally what they would do later on. I mean, frankly, be honest with yourself. Is it really worth calling Combat Pack 2 Combat Pack 2 when... Is it really worth calling Combat Pack 2 Combat Pack 2 when you really think about it, what we got out of it was half of the content? We got half the content that we would ordinarily get, that we got from the first combat pack, and that was okay. I mean, if I remember correctly, we did get it for less than what Combat Pack 1 was worth, so at least there's that. But at the same time, we can't really call it a Combat Pack 2 when really it was just a micro expansion. Like, Aftermath, as much as I'm gonna hate giving Aftermath any kind of praise, Aftermath had a bigger offering of things going on. Aftermath had more going on than Combat Pack 2. And do I need to repeat how much everybody hated Aftermath? Because I hope I don't, because Aftermath was terrible in more than one fashion. Dinosaur digs, and then giant tortoises. 1, 2. But yeah, so look at that, 15 grand. Pretty much built that exhibit for free thanks to Mailania. Oh, and I almost forgot. The rest of the stuff that I need. And then blanketize the turtles just a touch, and then 6 medium aquatic rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, don't put that there. You wouldn't be able to reach the other egg. 4, 5, 6. There we go. And now everybody's gonna start coming in. Where's the gate? Way over there? Alright, let's fix that. And let's get Sam in there quickly, because they degrade at a steady rate. So let's try and speed things along. Okay, let's even get a little bit of marketing in here. The Ice Age Zoo. Nice that we start off with nutritional dinosaur food. What do I do next? We could do Coelodonta next. The woolly rhino. How much space do I have to rock here? Not actually a big amount of space, really. Not actually a huge amount of space, which is a little bit worrying, but I think we can make it work. So why don't we focus on the main objectives? And then once that's done, we can try and get the rest of the animals in there. Focus on the eggs, please. I want them to hatch healthy. I know, it's probably a lot of poo. Then, just gonna wait for... Because, yeah, I think it drops by like 9 points. Oh, there you go. Why are you at like a 93? Not enough snow, too much fresh water. Oh! Idiot. Idiot, idiot, idiot. I have to double up. Right? Not enough snow, too much fresh water. So, how much is that? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, right? So it needs to be 40. Or was it 30? 30 squares of snow, 10... Okay. So, doubling that would be 60. I think... 25, 50... 75. Wait, 25. Wait, what? How much? Hold on a second. Oh, it ended up being 150 size. Okay. So, I mean, we could try and do better, but I think I'll leave it at 98 because it's good enough and I don't want to fuck around with too much math. Guest happiness is at 80. Let's try and give him... Let's try and give him a little something worth visiting besides the creatures. Let's do a toy shop. Bam. Dino slide. There we go. I know the emphasis is on dinosaurs, but it would have been really nice if they had more Ice Age stuff. Right. So that should do it for the time being. And the only thing I can think of we can do next now is try for Coelodonta, but I don't know if we have enough resources for it. In terms of just straight up cash. Where is my woolly rhino? Let's see. Well, with all the snow around, we wouldn't have to spend much on snow. I think we can do it. Just gonna have to flatten out some land. Oops. There we go. Yeah, think that's about the only thing I can think of that we really need to pull is just flatten everything. Flatten it all! And then Tanya. Morty. No, I haven't seen the show. It's just a really convenient, easy to remember small name. Okay. Now 4,500. $2,250. I don't know. If you guys could come up with better names, that would be really nice. But for the time being, I think we're off to a good start. 30 squares of gray stone, so 530. And then 20 squares of brownstone, 1620. Schwip, schwip, schwip. Dinosaur Cinema. Bam. And then let's take a look and see what else they actually need. 10 squares full of Arctic grass. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 10 medium snowy rocks. Can we do that? Yes, we can. 16 rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And 2 2x2s 1 level up, and 2 1x1s 1 level up. So 1 of these, and a couple of these. Not much, but it should get the job done. And now, I hired a new scientist lady, Sarah, and hit him with the old double rhino. This might be the fastest campaign finish yet, really, because they give you a whole mess of stuff to work with. They give you almost too much to work with, really. They give you almost too much to work with. It's kind of comical. In fact, I can double my research costs and just kind of sit tight for a minute. I have every confidence that we'll be just fine, really. I mean, let's look back to Zoo Tycoon really quick. What else could we probably do? Spots to chill for a bit? We could do that. Have benches. And then benches. Although we could probably also just grab them from Dinosaur Digs, yeah. and then benches again. And then to further help things along, we can do one of these. Oh, that is a glitch. Oh, 16 squares, not 16 rocks. Oops. There we go. Because 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, so it is still too many. There we go. So it's a little too much on the rocks, I see. And then we can add other things like let's add a tar pit. Ow. Oh, everything about me hurts today. Owie. Everything about me just wants to hurt. And then why don't we have a lava pit? Why not? I don't know why volcanoes and stuff are tropic for dinosaurs, but I'll admit, it's kind of a cool sound. That's our rating of 80. And now I just have to adopt a woolly mammoth, and then we're basically set. So we're just going to wait. I can even speed it up by just dropping certain research topics in the conservation tab, which I think is what I'm going to do. Because there we go. Woolly mammoth is ready to go in like 10 days. 10 in-game days, that is. They don't apparently give you a time limit, which I think is kind of silly. Because really, at that point, you could take either as long as you want, or you can try and fucking speed run it. Because, I mean, unlike other games where you kind of have to or you kind of have to cheese it a little, you don't necessarily have to for this. Or where you'd have to wait for the thing to finish, rather. You have to wait for your campaigns to get done. You don't have to here. And I mean, sure, you could always make the argument for, well, you could always just you could always just, you know, call it done once you met all the objectives and not wait, but at the same time, really, I don't know. I'm not a speedrunner, and I don't think there's ever been a speedrun for Zoo Tycoon. I could be wrong. Do let me know if that's the case. But okay, let's see. 10 squares of fresh water. That is more than 10 squares of fresh water. We have gray stone. Lots of gray stone, but how much? Right? 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. Let's try measuring it out. 16 right there. 16 plus 6 is 22. 24, 5, 6. 7, 8, 30, nice, 1, 31, 2, 3, 34, 5, 36, 7, 38, 39, 41, 42, 3, 44, 45. So there's 45 squares of that in here. So there we go. So for 8, 12, 14, we just need 10 squares, right? So try and make it even. So 4, 8, 12, 14 plus 3 is 17, 21, 25, 27, 29, 30. And that still leaves us with plenty of water to put away. So just put it all away with snow until we get to, or we'll be happy with that. So, like that. Perfecto. And then they want 10 squares full with Arctic birch trees for mammoths. So let's get what they want, because we researched this earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 16 medium snowy rocks, just like with the woolly rhino. But I'm going to be a little smart about it this time. 1, 2, that's 8, 12, 16, 3x3 1 and 2x2 1. So clunk, and then clunk. There we go. And then Sarah will also get assigned to the mammoths. The fact that they also give you $150,000 is kind of insane. Like, we're done. See? The last couple of episodes have been over an hour, and this one is gonna be like less than 40 minutes. We're gonna say yes to that, just so that I can confirm. Shelters. They need Ice Age caves. Okay, that makes sense. There. Assign you to the mammoths and the rhinos, and you. It's up here, and then done. Literally finished. And that is the only. If we go back. By successfully building and maintaining a zoo with Ice Age animals, you have given your research scientists the resolve that they need to begin cloning larger, more dangerous creatures. Dinosaurs! But that's something for another time, because we have 4 Marine Mania beginner campaigns to do. And yes, there is only the one there. Yeah, that's all we get there. So we got to move on to this in the next episode. Which, is that seriously all we need to do? Crazy stuff. All right, don't forget to be awesome. I'll see you guys on the other side. See you later.